Have you ever wondered about the incredible miracles and wonders found in the Bible? From talking donkey to the blind seeing, these stories aren't just ancient, they're powerful reminders of faith and hope. Hey there, Bible buffs, history lovers, and trivia champions. Welcome back to Bible Quiz Channel, where we dive deep into the Word of God and have a little fun along the way. Today, we're diving into the most amazing biblical wonders that will leave you inspired and amazed. So, don't scroll away. Stick with us, because you're about to discover truths that will strengthen your faith and challenge your knowledge. If you love learning about the Bible and want to test your knowledge, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a single quiz or inspiring story.
Question 1. Which miracle involved a donkey speaking to its owner? A. Jonah and the whale. B. Balaam and the donkey. C. Moses and the burning bush. D. Elijah and the ravens. The correct answer is B. Balaam and the donkey. You can find them in Numbers 22:28. And the Lord opened the mouth of the ass, and she said unto Balaam, What have I done unto thee, that thou hast smitten me these 3 times? Here is the explanation. Balaam was on his way to curse Israel when his donkey saw an angel blocking the path. After Balaam struck the donkey, God opened its mouth to speak. This miracle shows God can use even the most unexpected means to deliver his message. Question 2. Which prophet was swallowed by a great fish and survived 3 days inside it? A. Daniel. B. Elijah. C. Jonah. D. Ezekiel. The correct answer is C. Jonah. You can find them in Jonah 1 verse 17. Now the Lord had prepared a great fish to swallow up Jonah. And Jonah was in the belly of the fish 3 days and 3 nights. Here is the explanation. Jonah tried to flee from God's command to preach in Nineveh. After being thrown overboard during a storm, God sent a great fish to swallow him. Jonah prayed and was delivered, showing God's mercy and sovereignty. Question 3. At which event did Jesus turn water into wine? A. The Last Supper. B. Wedding at Cana. C. Feeding of the 5,000. D. Sermon on the Mount. The correct answer is B. Wedding at Cana. You can find them in John 2 verse 9, when the ruler of the feast had tasted the water that was made wine. Here is the explanation. Jesus' first recorded miracle was turning water into wine at a wedding in Cana, saving the hosts from embarrassment. This miracle demonstrates Jesus' power and compassion in everyday life. Question 4. Which prophet made an iron axe head float? A. Elisha. B. Elijah. C. Moses. D. Joshua. The correct answer is A. Elisha. You can find them in 2 Kings 6 verse 6, and he cut down a stick, and cast it in thither, and the iron did swim. Here is the explanation. When a borrowed axe head fell into the water, Elisha threw a stick into the river, and the iron floated. This miracle shows God's concern for even small problems. Question 5. Who walked on water toward Jesus? A. Moses. B. Jesus. C. Peter. D. Both B and C. The correct answer is D. Both B and C. You can find them in Matthew 14 verse 29, and he said, Come. And when Peter was come down out of the ship, he walked on the water to go to Jesus. Here is the explanation. Jesus walked on water, and Peter did too, until he became afraid and began to sink. The miracle emphasizes faith and keeping focus on Jesus. Question 6. Who fed thousands of people with just 5 loaves and 2 fish? A. Moses. B. Jesus. C. Elijah. D. Paul. The correct answer is B. Jesus. You can find them in Matthew 14 verse 19. And he commanded the multitude to sit down on the grass, and took the 5 loaves, and the 2 fishes, and looking up to heaven, he blessed, and brake, and gave the loaves to his disciples, and the disciples to the multitude. Here is the explanation. Jesus multiplied a small lunch to feed over 5,000 men plus women and children. This miracle shows his compassion and power to provide abundantly. Question 7. Which miracle involved water coming out of a rock? A. Moses striking the rock. B. Elijah calling fire. C. Joshua crossing Jordan. D. Gideon's fleece. The correct answer is A. Moses striking the rock. You can find them in Exodus 17 verse 6. Behold, I will stand before thee there upon the rock in Horeb, and thou shalt smite the rock, and there shall come water out of it, that the people may drink. Here is the explanation. When Israel lacked water in the wilderness, God instructed Moses to strike a rock, and water flowed out. This miracle symbolizes God's provision even in barren places. Question 8. Who was healed after dipping 7 times in the Jordan River? A. Naaman. B. Gehazi. C. Samson. D. Saul. The correct answer is A. Naaman. You can find them in 2 Kings 5 verse 14. Then went he down, and dipped himself 7 times in Jordan, according to the saying of the man of God, and his flesh came again like unto the flesh of a little child, and he was clean. Here is the explanation. Naaman, a Syrian commander, was healed of leprosy after obeying Elisha's instructions to wash in the Jordan. This miracle teaches humility and obedience. Question 9. Who was raised from the dead by Jesus after being in the tomb for days? A. Jairus' daughter. B. Lazarus. C. Tabitha. D. Eutychus. The correct answer is B. Lazarus. You can find them in John 11 verse 43. And when he thus had spoken, he cried with a loud voice, Lazarus, come forth. Here is the explanation. Lazarus' resurrection demonstrates Jesus' authority over death and foreshadows his own resurrection. Question 10. Which miracle involved ravens delivering food? A. Elijah at the brook. B. Elisha and the widow. C. Moses in the desert. D. Daniel in the lion's den. The correct answer is A. Elijah at the brook. You can find them in 1 Kings 17 verse 6. And the ravens brought him bread and flesh in the morning, and bread and flesh in the evening, and he drank of the brook. Here is the explanation. During a drought, God sent ravens to feed Elijah. This miracle shows God's creative provision in times of need. Question 11. Which miracle involved a shadow moving backward on a sundial? A. Joshua stopping the sun. B. Hezekiah's sign. C. Gideon's fleece. D. Elijah's fire. The correct answer is B. Hezekiah's sign. You can find them in Isaiah 38 verse 8. Behold, I will bring again the shadow of the degrees, which is gone down in the sundial of Ahaz, 10 degrees backward. Here is the explanation. As a sign to Hezekiah that he would recover, God made the shadow move backward. This miracle shows God's control over time itself. Question 12. Who was swallowed alive by the earth for rebellion? A. Korah and his followers. B. Achan. C. Absalom. D. Cain. The correct answer is A. Korah and his followers. You can find them in Numbers 16:32, and the earth opened her mouth, and swallowed them up, and their houses, and all the men that appertained unto Korah, and all their goods. Here is the explanation: Korah's rebellion against Moses ended with the earth opening and swallowing them. This miracle warns against pride and defiance of God's order. Question 13. Which miracle involved 3 men surviving a fiery furnace without burns? A. Daniel. B. Ezekiel. C. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. D. Joseph. The correct answer is C. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. You can find them in Daniel 3 verse 27, nor was an hair of their head singed, neither were their coats changed, nor the smell of fire had passed on them. Here is the explanation: these men refused to worship an idol and were thrown into a furnace, yet emerged unharmed, with a divine figure present. This miracle shows God's protection. Question 14. Who was struck blind for opposing Paul? A. Elimas the sorcerer. B. Simon the magician. C. Herod. D. Demetrius. The correct answer is A. Elimas the sorcerer. You can find them in Acts 13 verse 11, and now, behold, the hand of the Lord is upon thee, and thou shalt be blind, not seeing the sun for a season. Here is the explanation: Elimas tried to hinder Paul's preaching, and God struck him blind temporarily. This miracle demonstrates divine authority over spiritual opposition. Question 15. Which miracle involved a coin found in a fish's mouth? A. Peter's temple tax. B. Feeding the 4,000. C. Jonah's escape. D. Paul's shipwreck. The correct answer is A. Peter's temple tax. You can find them in Matthew 17 verse 27, Go thou to the sea, and cast an hook, and take up the fish that first cometh up, and when thou hast opened his mouth, thou shalt find a piece of money. Here is the explanation: Jesus told Peter to catch a fish, which had a coin to pay the temple tax. This miracle shows God's provision in unexpected ways. Question 16. Which prophet called down fire from heaven to consume a sacrifice? A. Moses. B. Elijah. C. Elisha. D. Samuel. The correct answer is B. Elijah. You can find them in 1 Kings 18 verse 38. Then the fire of the Lord fell, and consumed the burnt sacrifice, and the wood, and the stones, and the dust, and licked up the water that was in the trench. Here is the explanation: Elijah challenged the prophets of Baal, and God answered with fire. This miracle proves God's supremacy over false gods. Question 17. Who was healed after touching the hem of Jesus' garment? A. Blind Bartimaeus. B. Woman with the issue of blood. C. Jairus' daughter. D. Mary Magdalene. The correct answer is B. Woman with the issue of blood. You can find them in Luke 8 verse 44, came behind him, and touched the border of his garment, and immediately her issue of blood stanched. Here is the explanation: her faith led to healing after years of suffering. This miracle highlights the power of faith. Question 18. Which miracle involved a man's hand turning leprous and then being healed? A. Moses' sign before Pharaoh. B. Naaman's cleansing. C. Gehazi's punishment. D. Uzziah's judgment. The correct answer is A. Moses' sign before Pharaoh. You can find them in Exodus 4 verses 6 to 7. And he put his hand into his bosom, and when he took it out, behold, his hand was leprous as snow, and it was turned again as his other flesh. Here is the explanation: God gave Moses this sign to prove his power. It shows God's authority over life and health. Question 19. Who was bitten by a viper but suffered no harm? A. Peter. B. Paul. C. John. D. Barnabas. The correct answer is B. Paul. You can find them in Acts 28 verse 5, and he shook off the beast into the fire, and felt no harm. Here is the explanation: after a shipwreck, Paul was bitten by a snake but remained unharmed, showing God's protection. Question 20. Which miracle involved a widow's oil multiplying until all vessels were filled? A. Elijah and the widow of Zarephath. B. Elisha and the widow's oil. C. Jesus feeding the 5,000. D. Gideon's jars. The correct answer is B. Elisha and the widow's oil. You can find them in 2 Kings 4 verse 6, and it came to pass, when the vessels were full, that she said unto her son, Bring me yet a vessel. And he said unto her, There is not a vessel more. And the oil stayed. Here is the explanation: Elisha's miracle provided for a widow in debt, showing God's abundant provision.
Wow. What an incredible journey through the wonders of the Bible, from a talking donkey to the blind receiving sight. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to Bible Quiz, and hit that notification bell so you'll never miss our next quiz or inspiring story. Share this video with your friends and challenge them too. Let's spread the word together. See you in the next episode.